it's Stephanie. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching my channel. Today I'm going to talk about Texas. My daughter and I took a wonderful trip to Texas to see my mother. And we just had such a great time. I want to give you a little backstory on this. I haven't seen my mother in a really long time. And, you know, we're so far apart and she doesn't like to travel because of her animals. And, you know, I'm busy lifestyle and it's expensive and, you know, it's just something I put off and put off and put off. And I thought recently a couple of people that are very close to me have passed away, and it made me realize that I needed to do some things that were important to me. And one of them was have a really nice visit with my mom and my sister. And so I checked with them both. We picked out some great dates and we planned the trip. I was going to bring my husband, but then my daughter heard about the trip and she wanted to go see her grandmother and her aunt. So it was a girl trip. We had such a fun time planning our trip, and of course we had to plan our outfits. So I just thought I would share just a little bit of our communication with each other, kind of sharing our ideas for outfits. So I sent her a video with what I was packing. Okay, so I'm bringing this dress, and if it gets cold I'll wear these leggings and this jacket, and then I'm bringing this dress with a sweater. And then I'm bringing my black jeans with this top and this top, just casual. Then I'm wearing black tunic and leggings. And then I'm coming home in a black kind of dress and leggings. And then I'm wearing a black long sweater tomorrow. Yoga pants every day for hanging out. That's what I'm planning. What do you think? Say again?
Jean capris, little top, jean jacket.
Ooh, cute.
My Canadian tuxedo.
Got it.
And then this is for going home. It's like a long maxi dress in stripes with the jean jacket.
She said I couldn't film her because she doesn't have her hair and makeup done.
Yeah. And then I got jeans and navy tank top with
oh, I love that outfit.
a cute little cardigan.
Nice.
Then I'm bringing my Birkenstocks, some slip-on tennis shoes, and then I'm wearing these with the dresses and stuff.
Nice. When I planned our flight, I really wanted to avoid traffic in Dallas. It's a major city and I'm a country girl. Like, I live on a 2-lane highway, so traffic in a major city was not something I wanted to experience if I could avoid it. So I planned the ticket to be early, like get there middle of the day. Now we're earlier in California than Texas, so that meant our flight left at 6 a.m. We're an hour and a half from the airport. You got to get there an hour early. This was terrible. Just terrible. I'm kind of a late night gal. I like to go to bed late, and here I was getting up like at 2. So this was really hard. Okay, it's right now 3:47 a.m. I freaking got up at 2. And my normal bedtime's 1:30, so but we're on our way.
Lost coffee. That's all I have to say.
Am I just a face in the dark? I don't jump from that angle, I swear to God. My profile is not my fave.
Okay, we're on our way. But the flight was great. It was uneventful. I was in such great hands. My daughter was a flight attendant for years before she became a mom and a wife and a mom. And so it was really fun for her to visit her glory days. She got to talk to the flight attendants and compare notes about, you know, the job. And it was just, of course, I felt like I was in really good hands because I had somebody who knew what to do at all times. Well, we had an uneventful flight. We were just delighted to get to Texas, and we had perfect weather. Can I just say we had perfect weather the whole time we were there, and everybody kept joking about how Dallas and Texas weather, it's like I would say the weather's really nice, and someone would say, well, just wait a minute, it's Texas. So, but we had nice weather the whole time we were there, even though they were predicting storms, they just didn't happen. So we got there and we drove to my mother's, and it's about an hour and a half, and we just really had a nice drive. So we're in Texas.
We're in
we
Texas.
made it.
We made it.
We got our rental car. We're on the road. And I said, tell me the first minute you know you're in Texas.
Oh, when I saw Whataburger. Which that's how they say it here. And I didn't get that until I showed up at the place. And I'm like, you guys are crazy. This isn't Whataburger. This is What a Burger. And
I said Californians enunciate.
Yes, Californians.
We can't help it.
Can't help it.
I really noticed it the most with just how flat everything is. Like in California, even when you're in the valley where it's flat, you still see mountains in the distance.
That's true.
But there's no mountains here at all.
It's pretty flat.
The weather's really nice. We left rain and we came to clear skies, so I'm happy about that. And we're on our way to my mother's.
Yay.
So 2 girls on a road trip.
Whoop whoop.
Here we go. What is that over there?
Okay, so we just saw a donut palace over there. I don't know, I'll kind of scan maybe we got it or not. And just as we're passing all these places, they're really big fans here in Texas to call everything some kind of palace. We saw a donut palace. We saw a dairy palace.
Yes.
I think I may have even seen a taco palace.
We did have to look for a Starbucks, and I will say there weren't very many. We did end up finding one, but man, in California they're on every corner, it feels like. But in Texas, we didn't see them everywhere we went like we do here. So we got there and we just kind of hung out, and it was really kind of fun. And my mom offered us a glass of wine, and so my daughter, she is a part-time worker at a wine tasting place. So she's like a wine person, like she's a wine connoisseur. So she decided to pick out the wine, and when she got in this cabinet, she said, like, Nanny, that's what she calls my mom, why are there like 9 open bottles, corked bottles of wine in your cabinet? And she said she didn't know. So it ended up that my daughter cleaned out her wine cabinet and told her which wines were still good and which ones weren't. And that was hilarious. And then my sister arrived and we just had a nice dinner. My mom had gone all out and cooked some beautiful food for us. And it was just really nice. So we just hung out and had a really good time and just visited. Of course, we had to have cocktails, and I can't remember, like, I'm so not the boozy person, like, it's nothing personal, it's just not my thing, so I'm pretty sure it was martinis. If I'm wrong about that, you guys, sorry. But that was really fun. My sister and my daughter ended up being the bartenders, and they were just, it was just a lot of fun. Let me show you. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna say it after her though.
Okay, well, I can't see everybody. Lean in.
Salud,
Salud,
amor,
amor,
y dinero,
y dinero,
y tiempo,
y tiempo,
para
para
gozarlos.
gozarlos.
Salud!
So we wanted to do something fun, so we played poker. And let me just say, I don't know how to play poker very good. And of course I lost my money early, and my daughter gave me some of hers, and we just had so much fun. Let me just show you that.
Okay,
Your favorite memory of our poker game tonight, as we just finished playing?
my favorite memory of our poker game tonight was calling wild cards, because Nanny likes to call deuces and twos.
Yes.
And jokers.
Deuces and twos.
Deuces and twos. Oh, I have one more. And I like it.
You're going to tell them all and we won't have anything.
That's true. Pass.
Yeah, you took mine.
The deuces and twos is everyone's.
We all loved the deuces and the twos. That was a big hit.
Stephanie said, my bed is that.
My bet is that.
I did that.
I did that.
I did that. That's yours?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, I like all of those. It was very
What
fun.
was yours?
Winning when I had no money. I didn't actually win, but I had no money.
That was pretty good.
So
That sounds good.
I always hate losing.
Nanny did that too.
I hate
We
losing
made
before
it
the
come
game
back.
even begins. I have to say, it's really hard because my mom's guest room and this bed that was like this narrow, and we just like, oh, and it's like it was shaggy. So every time I felt like I was turning over really slow, it was more like it felt like this. So my sister was on an air mattress in the other bedroom. She had no sleep either. It was hilarious. We kind of compared all the notes about not getting any sleep, but eventually we got so tired we all slept pretty good, and so that was kind of funny. So for the day, we just kind of hung out, us girls. We went shopping, we went out to lunch. We just had a really nice time hanging out. Also super fun to take a tour through my stepfather's woodworking little shop. And he is an amazing artist at woodworking. And we have treasured and cherished the pieces that we have accumulated over the years. And it was just fun to see him in his element and going through, and he gave us a few things to look at that he was kind of working on. Ooh.
This is called a Deeds of Courage box.
Is it open?
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
it's beautiful.
This is, I've still got to put Deeds of Courage around here.
So all of these pieces are put together. So do you have to like?
Glue.
Oh.
This is quite a workshop, Tom.
And these
So when you put them together, do you have a bunch of clamps and you just like glue and clamp and?
Well, I don't. I put them together and put this around.
Oh, and you
them.
tie it.
And I pull it up tight, and it doesn't take but about.
So these don't ever come apart when you're
No.
put it in the lathe and you're trimming it?
No.
So they start out like that?
That's what it starts out as.
We also got to go through the reject closet. I'm like, what's wrong with these pieces? They're beautiful. Why would they be rejected? And he said, no more room in the house. So there was nothing wrong with the rejects. They just didn't have room for any more. And so he let us pick a few things, and we were just so excited.
Did you glue the handle on?
No, it's all one
This is
piece.
all one piece. The handle, and I don't know how you did that though.
When I figured it out, it took me a while
How?
to figure that out.
How did you get, I don't understand. That doesn't make sense to me.
It's turned like this.
Oh.
It's turned by the handle, and it turns like that, and then you.
And I also took a little bit of video of the stuff that wasn't rejected that is in their house, and it's true, it's everywhere, but it is art. It's so beautiful.
Wonder how when it got that way. Maybe when I picked it up to, I picked it up to plug something in. I bet that's when it did. Okay, well, I'm gonna pick it up again to plug something in.
He's so talented. It's just amazing. And we're so blessed. She's going to send us in the mail the pieces that we picked. So we're all excited to get those. And then my mother spends her hobby time in her sewing room. Now, since I was there last, she's built a new sewing room that's like twice the size, 3 times maybe. I'm in a little sewing closet. She's in a sewing, I call it mansion. Let me show you. We'll take a little tour. So right now we're in my mother's sewing room, and I remember her sewing when I was a little girl. She used to make all my Barbie clothes. She made my clothes, and all I wanted was store-bought clothes, and I ended up with clothes my mother made. Who wants that? But they were the best. They were the prettiest, and I just didn't know how lucky I was. So I have my teeny tiny little sewing closet, and she's got a sewing mansion. And her favorite things to do are digitizing. So she has a machine that does machine embroidery. She can design her own designs, or she can download designs. It's pretty darn cool. So let's just take a little tour of this sewing space. And it's such a creative spot. You can see all the different projects she's working on and all the cabinetry. So I'm just going to turn this camera around and take you through. Her main space. She sits in that chair, and this is her main machine. And what is the second machine here?
This is my straight. I use this mostly for straight sewing while my larger designs are stitching out. You have this period of time when you just need to be in the room, but don't have much to do.
Oh, it's
So
doing
then
the
I'll
work.
work on something else.
Gotcha. So each one of these cabinets has supplies, and you could. It's very organized. She uses a lot of little bins and a lot of little boxes, and everything's labeled. And there's some of her stuff hanging on a pegboard, shelves, and if you look down, there's more behind there, more drawers. Okay, start at the top. We're going to look at some thread. Look at that. Oh my word. Every color. That's crazy.
But they need all
This is a cool cabinet for that.
Well, it was specially made. I designed it, and my husband built it.
That's so cool. She does beautiful designs of furniture. Very functional. Wow. Well, I'm inspired to go home and get my stuff organized. And like all of us, she has lots of supplies. Because we all love collecting our supplies. So here's some more cabinetry. And I said, is it quiet in here when you're sewing? And she said, I watch TV. Woo, woo. So this is my mother, Marge. Say hi.
Hi.
And this is her sewing space. And while we do not live anywhere near one another, I'm in California and you're in Texas, we do talk about sewing and we have this in common.
Right, our shared hobby.
And a lot of times I wouldn't know if I would even be a sewer if I didn't grow up with a sewer. And actually my daughter isn't a sewer, so that didn't work.
Oh, so that's not always necessarily true, but you're a much more accomplished seamstress than I am.
It's quite the opposite. It's like, no, you, no, you, no, you, right? So what, you like to digitize. How, you didn't start out with that.
Well, see, I've sewn since my teenage years, but this is a later, actually it's a retired hobby that I acquired.
Uh-huh.
And I learned to digitize and fell in love with that.
She's in a club.
Mm-hmm.
And they share ideas, and she just loves the whole thing. It's like what we fall in love with. So thank you for sharing, and thank you for letting us peek in your sewing room.
Thank you.
And she didn't hide anything. It's all here. This is what it is. Real life, people.
It's real mess.
Chaos is creativity. That's what creativity can't exist. She's a very organized and neat person, but the sewing room is where the chaos has to be, right?
Right.
How can you create if you don't have all your stuff?
That's right.
I just don't think it's easy to create in this, like, neat, clean sewing room would not be real to me. Would that be real to you?
No.
Do you know anybody who has one?
No, I do not.
They're all chaos, don't you think?
I do, yeah.
All right, there you have it. Our sewing rooms are messier than yours. All right. I loved going through her sewing room, and I do wish we lived closer because sewing is something we would do together for sure. It's just something that we share, and it's one of our passions. So all things fabric, all things thread, all things sewing. Love it. We talk about it on the phone, but it's even more fun in person. And I just have to give a shout out to my mom and Tom for letting me film them, because you know what? I don't mind being on YouTube. Obviously, I have a channel, but that doesn't mean other people feel the same way. And I'm always reluctant to put people on my channel without them knowing that I'm going to do so. And I asked them both for permission. I showed them the video I was going to post. And so I just want to thank her for being brave enough to go on video. I don't think my stepdad was at all nervous about it, but she really didn't want to be filmed. But you know what? It was so nice for me to introduce you to her. So thank you, Mom, for letting me do that. I really appreciate it. Also wanted to show you my mother's dog. What an adorable dog. I know this is filmed sideways, but if I put it tall, it was just so little you couldn't see it. So bear with me, but he played with this toy like crazy. I mean, it was crazy. And as noisy and annoying as it was, I thought it was adorable. So I ordered one on Amazon right then and there while I was sitting there, and it was waiting for me when I got home. And my dogs, all three of them, just like, no, they weren't interested. But my son's dog is crazy for it. So he's my grand dog. When he comes to visit, he plays with that toy and he's all over it. But my dogs, they just won't play with toys. You know what's really cool about, visiting my mom's house? I haven't been there in so long. It's just kind of showing my daughter the mementos and the memories, and there were so many. I won't go through all of them with you, but it's just neat to see and hear the story behind things, like this cute little shelf with these little books that was always on my parents' headboard.
This came from your great-grandparents, and as far as I remember, he made the bookcase for it.
He made that? My great-grandpa?
Mm-hmm.
So that was your mom's dad?
No, your father's.
My father's father. Grandpa.
Your father's father. See, this is 50 Best Poems of England, so I don't know what that's all about. That's all I know about that.
Well, I just love that. God, I love those little books. They were just so cute. And there was a knick-knack shelf. My daughter did not know the word knick-knack. What is a knick-knack? Well, that's what we called it, the knick-knack shelf. And it was just all these little figurines. And my mom told me that they were at her grandma's house. She played with them when she was a little kid. I remember them all my childhood. And unfortunately, my kids don't remember it because my mom lived too far away for them to know. But I remember the knick-knack shelf. Do you have a knick-knack shelf? That was pretty cool. So we had to go to a place called the Dairy Palace and eat local cuisine. It was amazing. And let me say, it's all about the onion rings. That was delicious. Loved it. But I have to say, when it was time to go home, I was in the mood for vegetarian. That's one of my favorites, is vegetarian. I'm not a vegetarian, but I prefer it. Like, I lean vegetarian. But my sister is vegan. So I thought, you know what? There's me that likes vegetarian, her that's vegan. Let us have one place that we go that's something we like. So she picked a place. She didn't really know it, but she picked it out of probably Yelp. And we went, and it was such a cool place. And the food was amazing. What a great last meal in Texas. But let me just show you this cool place. It's like the Cosmic Cafe. Oh my gosh, all the decorations. I loved it.
I'm gonna have to make that.
Man, by the time we got to the airport, we were just so ready to go home. She was missing her babies. I was missing my doggy and my hubby. Not necessarily in that order. And the flight home was chock full, and they told us, like, as we were getting on the plane, and we got the last, like, boarding passes, so we were last. So we knew we were going to get center seats, and they said there wouldn't be an empty seat, so sit in the center. You have to. So I ended up on the very back row, and guess what? Out of the whole entire plane, the one empty seat was between me and the guy I was sitting next to. We just got to, like, relax. So my daughter had taken a center seat thinking that there's no way we would sit together, right? So that was pretty cool. Uneventful flight, beautiful clouds. That was pretty cool. We were just so happy to get home. It was just nice. What a nice visit. I really look forward to going back. I wish it wasn't so far. I'd go more often. So that was my Texas trip, and no tornadoes and uneventful, just happy times. And you know, if you're like me and you've been putting off that visit, I just encourage you to do it. It was worth all the effort, because it just feels great to have that connection again with my family. When you're so far away, it's just so easy. Time flies by, and then it's been forever. And I'm just not going to let that happen from now on, because it's just so important to keep those relationships going. It is to me anyway. So I hope you enjoyed my trip to Texas, and I'd love to hear your comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Please hit the subscribe button.